Have you ever wondered why you have big dreams but feel stuck at the starting line? Why you keep telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow, yet tomorrow slips by as quietly as today? Why you long for change yet stay trapped in old habits, familiar loops, and a false comfort that slowly makes you forget who you are? The truth is, you're not lazy. You're not lacking energy. You're being quietly ruled by your subconscious, and you don't even realize it. Carl Jung warned us long ago, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The scariest thing isn't your circumstances, it's the illusion that you're making choices, when in truth, old beliefs, unspoken fears, and unhealed wounds are quietly choosing for you. You procrastinate because your subconscious whispers, that's too big, you can't do it. You repeat old habits because your mind fears failure more than it desires success. You tell yourself, I'm not ready, but the truth is no one is ever truly ready. You just have to begin. Because every small action, even just 2 minutes, is a quiet rebellion against the inertia wired into your brain. It's the first step in breaking the grip of your own shadow, moving toward the light of freedom, what Jung called individuation, the journey of becoming your truest, most whole self. If you're ready to break free from the invisible loop, walk with me, because this path isn't for those who only talk. It's for those brave enough to begin, even if it's just a single small step. Principle 1. Make the goal smaller, so you don't awaken the shadow of avoidance. Let's be honest. How many times have you set a big, noble goal only to quietly abandon it? You want to write a book. You want to learn a new skill. You want to radically change a life that's slowly suffocating you. But then what? You look up at the mountain and your mind instantly whispers, that's too far. You can't do it. You freeze, you procrastinate. You blame yourself for lacking discipline. But what's really happening? You're not unmotivated. You're not lazy. You've triggered an invisible mechanism, what Carl Jung called the shadow. The shadow isn't some distant or mystical thing. It's the part of you that was wounded, the part that tried, failed, and got hurt. When a goal feels too big, that shadow awakens. It whispers, don't do it. You're not good enough. Remember the last time you failed? So you retreat. You don't delay because you lack ability. You delay because your mind is trying to protect you by keeping you in the comfort zone. Jung once said with razor-sharp clarity, what is not made conscious will manifest as fate. You avoid, you delay, you limit yourself, and then you call it something noble, destiny. But here's the way out, not by forcing yourself to conquer everything at once, but by shrinking the goal until your shadow no longer feels threatened. Today, don't write a whole book, just one sentence. Don't change your whole life, just stand up and clear your desk. Don't force yourself to be perfect. Just take one small step, right now. That's not weakness, it's strategy. It's the doorway inward, the first invitation to befriend the shadow you've avoided, so they can move the he-protected wine to prove they're not fronts. When the step is small enough, the subconscious doesn't resist. Fear has no foothold. Bit by bit, you step out of unconscious inertia into Jung's vision of freedom, individuation, the path of separating from old patterns and becoming fully yourself. Practice today. Next time a goal feels overwhelming, pause, close your eyes, take a deep breath, ask yourself, what part of me is afraid? What tiny step can I take to comfort it? The greatest victory isn't reaching the mountaintop. It's having the courage to lay the first brick, even if your hands still tremble. Here's the thing though, even small goals lose their power if your environment keeps pulling you backward, which brings us to the next key. Principle 2, create small daily rituals. Lead your subconscious instead of being led by it. Most people believe they're in control of their lives, but often they're simply running on programming. They repeat the same habits, the same loops, the same automatic reactions. Wake up, check the phone. After work, scroll through social media. Late at night, promise themselves, tomorrow will be different, only to sink back into old routines. They don't control their subconscious. It controls them. Carl Jung warned us, we do not hold the unconscious holds us. The subconscious isn't your enemy, but it's like an underground current. If you don't guide the flow, it will sweep you along into the same patterns, same fears, same outdated beliefs formed long before you had the power to choose. So how do you stop being swept away? Not with willpower alone, not with harsh discipline, but by designing your environment. Create small, repeatable rituals, anchors that quietly reprogram your internal system, one day at a time. Shoes by your bed, reminding you of your health goals. A simple to-do list, reminding you of your priorities. A quiet space just for yourself, reminding you to reconnect with your soul. The magic is, you don't have to push harder. If the environment is clear enough, your subconscious adjusts naturally. This is how you lead your subconscious, instead of unconsciously being led by. Before diving into work, don't rush, pause. Create a mindset shift ritual, light a candle, brew a cup of tea, sit still for 2 minutes, breathing deeply. It's more than habit, it's a signal to your subconscious. From this moment on, I am choosing. Because the difference between conscious living and unconscious drifting isn't ability, it's clarity. Lead your inner world, or keep being led by hidden patterns, and call it fate. Of course, even with rituals and small steps, fear still lingers. You hesitate, you stall, you convince yourself it's not the right time. But the right time never arrives. So let's talk about the simplest, boldest disruptor of paralysis. Principle 3, the 2-minute rule. Courage to begin, not perfection to finish. How many times have you faced a task only to be ambushed by self-doubt? I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. It has to be perfect before I can begin. The result? You didn't start. You waited to feel stronger, but that day never came. Carl Jung shattered this illusion. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration. Wholeness doesn't come from stepping out wearing shining armor. It comes from stepping out, trembling, unsure, incomplete, but moving. The truth is, you don't need to do everything. You just need 2 minutes. 2 minutes to open the laptop, 2 minutes to write a sentence, 2 minutes to clear one corner of your space, 2 minutes to begin anything. Tiny acts sound laughably small, but they break the unconscious loop of stagnation. Your subconscious fears change. It fears failure, it fears imperfection. But every small action sends a message. I'm no longer frozen, I'm moving. Jung once said, the way to the self is not through pretty words, but through lived experience, even through failure. You will stumble, you will be clumsy, you will be imperfect, and that's okay. The greatest shift comes when you're brave enough to begin, even if your soul still trembles. Your challenge today, choose one thing you've delayed. Promise yourself just 2 minutes, no perfection, no pressure, just begin, and watch what awakens inside you. Here's the final truth. You're not stuck. You're replaying patterns you've never dared to face. You blamed yourself for procrastination. You looked at your big dreams, then slipped quietly into old habits and called it fate. But Jung reminded us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You're not a victim of destiny. You're a prisoner of old programming. But that can change, starting now. Shrink your goals so the shadow feels safe. Build daily rituals so your subconscious follows your lead. Take 2 minutes and break the paralysis of fear. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to begin. Because individuation, becoming fully yourself, isn't born from theory. It's carved from raw, imperfect, courageous action. If you've been waiting for the right time, understand, that day isn't coming, but today is here. This moment is here. You can keep letting the unconscious rule you or rewrite your fate quietly, starting now. It's not about being ready, it's about being brave enough to begin. If your answer is yes, the journey has already begun. If this message speaks to you, to the part that's been waiting, doubting, let this be your sign. You don't need another perfect plan. You don't need permission from fear, you just need 2 minutes. And if this resonates, walk this path with me, subscribe. Comment below. Tell me which part opened your eyes the most. Because this isn't just about understanding the mind, it's about awakening your deepest self, step by step, layer by layer. Remember, your unconscious shapes your life unless you choose to shape it first. Your journey begins now.